Welcome back, students. In this video, we're going to practice adding fractions. Remember, when you add fractions, you must have a least common denominator. In problem number 1, we're adding 2/3 plus 1/9. Before we do that, we must have a common denominator. In order to find a common denominator, the first thing I check to see is if the smaller denominator divides evenly into the bigger denominator. If it does, then that's my common denominator. 3 divides evenly into 9. We'll use 9 as the common denominator. Let's get the numerators. Here's how you do it. What do you multiply times 3 to get 9? Is 3. If I multiply the bottom by 3, I must also multiply the top by 3. 2 times 3 is 6. What do you multiply times 9 to get itself? Is 1. If I multiply the bottom by 1, I must also multiply the top by 1. Now keep that common denominator of 9. Add up the numerators. 6 plus 1, that's 7. For number 2, again, I need a common denominator. I check to see if the smaller one divides evenly into the bigger one, but 4 does not go evenly into 6. So instead, I must find a larger number that 4 and 6 both divide into. Well, I know that 6 divides into 12 and 4 divides into 12. 12 is the smallest number that 6 and 4 both divide into. Now for the numerators. What do you multiply times 6 to get 12? I multiply by 2. Let's multiply the top by 2 as well. 2 times 1 is 2. To get this numerator, what do you multiply times 4 to get 12? Is 3. We'll multiply the top by 3 as well. Now keep the common denominator of 12 and add the numerators. 2 plus 9, that's 11. This is exactly how I want you to show your work when you're working these problems. Write the problem down, rewrite it with common denominators, show your final answer. For number 3, I have a whole number minus a fraction. Let's make the whole number look like a fraction by putting it over 1. Now I need a common denominator. So I check to see if the smaller denominator divides evenly into the bigger denominator. Clearly 1 divides into 4. So 4 makes a good common denominator. To get the numerators, what do you multiply times 1 to get 4? Is 4. We'll multiply the top by 4 as well. What do you multiply times a number to get itself? Is 1. So we'll multiply the top by 1. Now keep the common denominator of 4 and subtract 20 minus 3 is 17. All right, you go and practice and then meet me back here.